Hello and welcome back to another video, and today we are here on MotoGP 20 previewing the version 1.6 of the MotoGP 21 mod. It's finally going to be releasing today, so hopefully if you guys have been waiting for that, you are excited to see it finally come out. All the skins for the MotoGP class are finally finished. It's just taken me a really long time to do them. I have been working on them, I promised. It's just taken me a long time because I wanted to make sure they were all really good. As you can see, we've got all the renders in the menu as well, so I'm going to just go through and run through them all. Obviously, some of them were in the previous update as well, because I did about half of them before for version 1.5, but now you've got all of them, and we'll go through the menus and we'll just show them all off. So first up, we've got obviously the Suzuki, so we'll have a look at Joan Mir. You can see very similar to the previous year, but it's also got the Monster Energy logos on the bike. That's the main difference, and some of the silver is also replaced with blue, so just basically the angle of the silver is a little bit different. The suit is actually quite different. Obviously it's still blue mainly, but the silver is pretty much gone except around the Suzuki logo, as you can see on the front there. So the Suzuki logo that was like on the butt patch area is actually now gone. It's moved up to just above the Michelin logo, and both riders now have got their sort of logo on sort of the hump on the back rather than on the butt patch area. You'll see the same thing for Alex Rins here, if I just quickly show that one off. So you can see there, obviously he's got, his was already like that anyway, actually, in 2020. I think probably previously to that as well. But Mir's is now moved up there as well. So for the custom rider, it will still be down at the bottom because you can't change that. There's nothing you can do. It doesn't change team by team, so it'll still be at the bottom. I presume it'll be the same in MotoGP 21 as well, so you can't really blame me. It's just how the game is made. So moving on to the Petronas. This one was really fun because I had to make it twice. Once for the 2019 M1 and once for the 2020 M1 model. So if we have a look then here at Franco Morbidelli, the suit is actually changed as well. So we'll quickly have a look at the bike first, just around it. So I have actually just noticed a mistake. The Green Power logo seems to be missing from this bike, although it seems to be present on the light map. So I'm guessing I've just not saved the right version of the file and put that in the game. So that's a little bit strange. Hopefully that should be fixed for when the update actually comes out later today. But for now, just pretend there is a Green Power logo there. I'll have to fix that after this video. But there should be one on that side. But the suit is fairly similar, but there's a Spang Racing logo on the back. And I've actually changed Morbidelli's suit to have the new sliders for the Dionisi rather than the old ones, because he had the old school ones for some reason by default in the game. Now moving on to the second Petronas livery. Very similar. Obviously you can see we actually got the Green Power logo on the side of this one. Swing arm logos, a few different, because Rossi actually uses a different chain and exhaust. Also, he doesn't have the Alpine Stars logos on the front. But you can see the suit is very similar, just, again, there's a couple of logo differences due to the differences on the bike. And also then, obviously, a bit more yellow. The Dionisi is also above the yellow rather than below the black where it is on Morbidelli's. So, obviously, Miller and Bagnaia were already updated in the previous update, so we'll just quickly show off that they are here, but they were like this in 1.5 anyway, so I actually won't even bother looking at Bagnaia because, again, it's still the same, no change there. Same with Binder and Oliveira, they obviously were the same in 1.5 as well. There wasn't really much change to that livery as well. Again, same with these two, the factory Yamaha, same as 1.5, because that was in this livery was in 1.5. Have noticed that seems on MotoGP 21 promotional art, the 20 is really small on the front of Quartararo's bike for some reason, but in real life it's about this size. That's why I've gone for this one. So if it's like that in MotoGP 21, I'll put a mod out to fix it. So moving on to the next team then that is now different, we've got the Pramac Racing team. So again, the livery, the bike is not too dissimilar to the previous year's version. Obviously now we've got the red 5 for Zarco, because before it wasn't red, but in pre-season he was using a red, and obviously in the team showcase as well. But the main thing to watch out here is the suit. The suit is completely different to last year's. Quite a nice looking suit, I've got to say. I actually really like how it's turned out, and how it actually looks in real life is pretty nice as well. It looks pretty daunting to start with, not going to lie. It did take a while to do, but I just really like how this one's turned out. We'll show off Martin as well. You can see that he's got the new 89 on the front, so I'd made one myself previously, which wasn't the best, to be honest. It was kind of hard because it's just based on the one photo that there was of it, but now it has been actually uploaded online on the Pramac website, his actual 89, so that's now present everywhere in the game as well. And you can see here, obviously, the Alpine Stars version of the suit, very similar to the Furigan version. Obviously, Tech 3, that's the same as the previous update as well. These guys are on 1.5, so we'll skim over that. And now we get to the two LCR Honda liveries. So again, another team where you have to make two liveries, but at least this time it's not the same livery twice, it is two completely different ones. So we'll look at Takaki Nakagami first. So it's kind of a similar design to last season's, it's just it's got a bit more gold on it. Obviously the new Idemitsu logos, that was probably the main obvious difference that you can see right away. You can see on the suit as well, there is a new Idemitsu logos. He's actually got a different suit brand as well, the IXON suit brand. I think that's how it's pronounced. I think that's what the letters are. I don't know if it's actually an I or an L at the start. I'm guessing it's an I because it's all in capitals. But I've never actually heard that suit name be said out loud, so I actually have no idea. But I actually think it looks really nice on the Idemitsu, to be honest. So we move on to Alex Marquez. Again, it's kind of a similar design to most of the LCRs that have been, with the Jivi being the main sponsor. But there is a lot more blue on here for the Estrella Galicia, of course. A few more HRC logos because it's really more tied to HRC this season. The LCR team, they all have factory bikes. And obviously they're on the side as well. You can see the CMS tools on the side of the wings, which is the same on the other LCR bike with the Idemitsu. New suit for him as well. I actually really like how his suit looks. Not just in game, but again, I just quite like the design of this suit. Just it kind of suits really, really nicely, if you pardon the pun there. So Bastianini, he's the same as 1.5 as well. I think there is some changes to this livery. In real life, they've added a couple more logos, a few more sponsors, and I think they've actually moved the second Avintia logo up higher. So in a future update, I might change that, but for now, I haven't touched that in this one. His number, I think, is also smaller on the bike as well in the testing. Marini is virtually the same as 1.5. Again, I saw that the livery is different in testing because they've released about 1 million different versions of this livery. If you look at different promotional events, so the first one they showed it off on the Italian X Factor, that was one. Then they showed it off again at the Avintia unveiling, that was another second different livery. Very similar, but there was a few differences. Then they did the Sky VR 46 photo shoot, where it was yet another livery, more similar to the X Factor one, not so much like the Avintia one. And then finally he ran in again a slightly different livery actually at testing, so that's why the Sky VR 46 is a little bit inaccurate, because they've changed it loads of times. But one thing I did take from testing is that the silver is gone on the suit, so it's just all black there now. Repstor Honda, I mean, there's actually nothing changed from the stock game for Marc Marquez, so I'm not even going to look at him. Polo Spagro, there actually is one change from 1.5. If you look at the back here, the Dionisi logo is actually in white now instead of red, because that's what him and Brado were both running in the test. And we move on to the Aprilia. Now, this skin actually isn't done by myself, it's done by Risky Redita. So, thank you for donating that livery. It's actually a really, really good job. It looks quite nice in the game as well. Obviously, on the little arrow thing on the front still says Aprilia. I think it's based on the version from before. Obviously, they did the Fausto tribute, so that's why it's got the Aprilia rather than Fausto there. I'm not sure whether I might change that in a future update yet or not. Depends what they run in the races, I suppose. If they run, if they go back to Aprilia, then I'll leave that. But if they keep running Fausto in the races, then I'll change it to the white Fausto instead. But it is a very similar design to last season, and the suit is exactly the same. That's actually not been changed. In real life, it is a little bit different, so it does need to be tweaked a little bit, but for now, the suit is actually still the same as the base game one. Onto Salvadori, you can see here, actually, he's got a new number on his UI. Well, it's the same number, but it's his actual font instead of just a quick one that I made that wasn't really very accurate, actually. But now he has got the proper 32, and you can see the same on the bike as well. And he's also moved to Dionisi leathers. So that is basically the overview for version 1.6. Hopefully that didn't take too long, because I want to do a race now. So we're going to play as Valentino Rossi. 7 laps here at the Circuit TT Assen. I actually might not do 7. What's the one down from this? 3 is too short, I think. So we'll do 7 laps. I'll see you down on the grid. Hopefully we can try and do a last to first here. It should be fairly easy because they're pretty bad at Assen. I have just noticed that tyre wear and fuel consumption are off, but I can't be bothered to actually go back and change the settings in the menu, so I'm going to go with that. It's only like a little quick bit on the end of this video. It's not going to really be a proper last to first challenge. We see Nakagami is up 3rd on the grid. That's pretty good for him, actually. Although he was very good in qualifying last season. Right, so I think a hard tyre is the one to go for, because it's 36 degrees track temperature. So we'll get this race started straight away. We've got to go from the back of the grid then. 22nd place as Valentino Rossi. Let's see how high up the order we can go.
Just a few minutes to go until the Grand Prix begins. Assen, the motorbike university, is once again ready to put everyone to the test.
So we've got Morbidelli then, obviously on pole, like I said, Marquez, then it is Nakagami. Oliveira is actually very good on this mod. I might need to make him a little bit worse. But waiting for the lights to go out here then at Assen. Lights out and away we go. So we've got Marini and Savadori ahead of us, which is the usual two, and then obviously Bastianini as well. Obviously those guys are usually at the back in this mod. Oh, Bastianini actually almost hit, well actually did hit a lace through the first corner. Try and get the undercut then on Savadori. Oh, they've gone straight to the side of me. I don't know whether I actually kind of caused that, but they kind of swerved to the right to avoid Petrucci, I think that was, on the outside, and seemed to clip me a little bit. So we're up the inside now of Marini, up at the 20th. So it's not been the best start. Marini almost hitting us at the back there. There we go, through Strubben, that's where you've got to gain a lot of time. So up to 17th now, Alex Marquez in front of us, Bagnaia. Oh, there's going quite a few right there. Lecuona as well with Binder, and I think that might be Miller as well in there. So the Factory Ducati is not doing too well. I will do a performance update after the first race. I think I'm going to rebalance the AI a little bit. We're up into 16th place now around the outside of Pecco Bagnaia. Can we do it? Oh, we had to sit him a little bit there. Someone was in the gravel. I think that was Maverick Vinales going so wide he was in the gravel there. We're back at the inside of Bagnaia again. Oh, I thought I was going to go into the side of him there. Lecuona's looking over his shoulder. That's brave to do on the first lap. Up the inside again, Bagnaia. So we can't quite get past. Oh, that was a big snap there. The tyre is really, really cold though. So I think I might have made a mistake going for the hard, but it said the track temperature was like 30-something degrees, and that's fine for a hard tyre usually. So here we go then. Trying to pass Bagnaia, but still not be able to do it. So we've been behind it for like half a lap. We might be able to get down into the Timmer chicane though. The AI actually aren't too bad on the brakes through here, but their line is not great. Oh, I had to wait for him, but we're on the power now. We've got past him, so up to 15th. Up next then is Alex Marquez. So we've got 0.2 of a second behind him. We should be able to go around this outside fairly easily. Oh, almost gone on the grass into the first corner. I was going very, very wide on that curb. We've got the inside of Alex, so surely we're going to be able to get the move done. No, not quite actually. So Alex is still ahead of us. So we really haven't got the pace. I think this hard tyre was a mistake because it's still absolutely freezing. I've got no grip on the rear. We've got past Alex now, up into 14th, so we've only made like 2 positions since this point on the last lap. Past Lecuona, Martin is up next, and then it's Zarco, so the 2 Pramacs ahead of us. Here we go then, closing up on Martin. We're going to get him here into this right-hander. We've gone in way too hot though. Oh, but Martin's almost actually ran us up the back, so that kind of worked out for the best. We've got the position. We're up into 12th then. Up next is Johan Zarco. Then it's Vinales, and then I think it might be Rins. It's either Rins or Mir. It's a Suzuki. I'm not sure. I think it's Rins, just by the riding style. And then it's a Repsol Honda. It's probably Paul, I'm assuming, since Mark started quite far up the order. Started obviously second on the grid. Through turn 12 then, we've got to try and close it to Zarco. This is a section where you can gain on that AI quite a bit, because you can just be quite brave compared to them. But that rear tyre is still cold, so I think we're going to have to go traction control 2 for the whole race, just to try and keep it in a decent temperature window. Because right up to the back then of Zarco, that was almost a big mistake, almost hit him at the back. So Marquez actually is leading the race now, ahead of Nakagami, so it's a Honda 1-2 at the minute. Quattrarido's the fastest lap. A couple tenths quicker than me. We're closing up to Zarco. We're going to go the inside. Oh, that was risky. He broke just so early, just caught me off guard. But I'm actually struggling to pass them here, which is very interesting. Usually they're fairly easy to pass at this circuit. I think it is down to my tyre. I just can't get on the power, so I'm losing a lot of time. So that's, oh, we're straight to the side of Zarco. I'm going to have to let him keep that one. That was pretty bad, because Strubben is a good place to pass. So I really lost a lot of time from that, but we should be able to get him through this section here. We've got the slipstream. Should be able to get him before the right-hander. Yep, we have up into 11th. So up next is Vinales, but this has been slow progress in the field, actually. This is quite embarrassing. It's not been very good. Usually I'm in the top 10 by the end of the first lap when I do something like this. But yeah, the hard tyre was 100% the wrong choice, because I can't get any temperature in it. I should have gone for the medium. And it was only for temperature management that I picked it, because obviously the tyre wear isn't a thing in this race, because I accidentally left it off, so really, I've picked a tyre just so that it wouldn't overheat and it's too cold. There we go, we've got the run on Vinales now. Hopefully we'll be able to pass him down towards the chicane. They brake fairly well through there, it's just their line is not good. They don't get a very good run through the chicane. But right now, that's where I'm struggling to make the time, by getting on the power earlier and getting a good run. Oh, I got a bit of a wheelie there though. We might still be able to get him up towards the line. 31.5, so we're really not lapping too well here. So we've gone past Vinales now. Should be able to get Rins as well into this first corner, so we've made 2 passes. We actually are making some decent progress now, and it doesn't look like Mark and Taka have actually got away at the front, so it's probably is still over for me winning, because we're on lap 4 of 7 already, so that's actually gone very, very quickly. So here we go then, in the slipstream of Paul. We're closing up to him. We might be able to do what we did to Martin. Yes, we can. Up the inside of Paul, up into 8th place now then. So it is Jaromir, the other Suzuki up next. Oh, Paul went back at us then. Wasn't expected that one. I do forget that the AI actually do sometimes come back up the inside of that next corner if you do that move, because you obviously lose a bit of momentum, because you can't keep the throttle all the way on, because you go too far into the green, and obviously we can't be doing that. Well, one, it's risky to do at that corner, because the green goes straight into the gravel, but also it's just not fair. So 30.8, new fastest lap, so yeah, we are getting a bit better. We actually did the chicane really well, because we didn't actually have an AI in front. I think that's the first I've actually gone through the chicane without having an AI in my way. So we're all over the back of Mir now. I actually couldn't do the move I wanted to though, so we're going to have to go into this right-hander. Yep, we've done it through the second valve. Up into 7th. I'm up into power mode 2 as well now, because I thought I might as well try it, see if that spins up the rear a little bit more, puts a bit more heat into it. 2 Hondas actually are getting away a little bit now. I think it's Oliveira in 3rd place. So it seems like Oliveira's actually holding these guys up a little. As Morbidelli's got Quartararo and Miller all over him. Okay, we are really starting to make some good time on the AI on these laps now. Another fast lap, another 30.8, so it's just the clean air. When you get held up by the AI, you just can't do the lap times because they ride so strange. So we're on the back now of Miller, on the penultimate lap, so definitely not winning the race. I'm not able to pass all these, but maybe I can get a podium. I'm going to have to pass Miller either here or into Strubben, if there's any chance of that, and then I need to try and pass Quartararo then on the following straight, if that's going to happen at all. So up the inside of Miller into Strubben. That could go badly though. Oh, I've sat him up a bit because I went in a bit too wide. I was expecting him to be tighter, so I tried to sort of go on the tight line, but then I realised he'd left me more space, so I just tried to use it, and it didn't really go very well. So Quartararo up next. We might be able to pass Fabio if we get on the power early enough. We should be able to do it into this right-hander now. Oh, it's going to be tight though. No, we couldn't actually do it. But we are all over the back of all 3 of these guys now. And the 2 Hondas, if they start scrapping, maybe it is possible to beat them, but I'm going to have to try and pass 2 out of 3 at once here. Maybe not on the same braking manoeuvre, but sort of on the entry and then maybe the exit of a corner. So we've got just over a lap to go. It's actually been quite a fun challenge because I've not really had the pace throughout, which is pretty unusual. But here we go then, we've got a really good run on Quartararo. We need to try and pass him before the chicane if possible. Oh, I tried to get the inside here, but they take quite a good line through there to stop you doing that. Down towards the chicane, want the inside of him. Can I try and get the line? No, I've not had the line because he was there. So yeah, that's definitely going to make the chance of the podium harder. You can see how much time you lose when you're behind there. 31.4 on that, like compared to 30.8 of the 2 previous ones. Oliveira's actually caught up to the back of Nakagami now. But I might be able to pass Morbidelli and Oliveira on this lap. It's going to be quite difficult to do though. Morbidelli's a little bit wide. I'm trying to hang a really tight line. The rear is stepping out so much there's no grip on the rear because there's absolutely no grip. There's no heat in it. So there's no grip. So try and get the inside of our teammate. Then a bit of a wheelie. Right, we've passed him. We might want to get Oliveira here on this straight, or at least into that right-hander, and that might allow us to pass one of the Hondas into the chicane. Because it's Oliveira, we've got to just go for it. Round the outside, that was brave. Right, okay, we did it at the right spot because we can still use the rest of this corner then to gain on the guys in front. So Nakagami and Marquez just there. We're up into 3rd place now. If I can try and pass Nakagami down to the Bolt, we might be able to do this. And I'm actually going to be able to do it as well at the inside into the Bolt. But he's going to get back up the inside shortly. He's not actually done it. So we're up to 2nd now. Marc Marquez is the only thing between us and the victory here, which would actually be quite remarkable considering where we were at the start of the previous lap. But I think he's got it because I've not got the grip to get on the power here. It's got to be about maybe gaining through this section as much as I can on Mark. But obviously we lost a bit of time when I dive bombed Nakagami, but I couldn't sit behind him for any longer. Because that would mean I wouldn't be able to pass both of them. There wouldn't be enough time in the lap or enough opportunities on the lap to pass. Down towards the Gert Timmer chicane then. We're closing up to him a lot. Oh, I've got a penalty though. I cut the corner a little bit. We're close up to the back of Mark. Are we going to beat him up to the line? No, Mark beat us on track anyway, but I think we should still get 2nd even with the penalty. Yes, we did. I don't know how much I cut. I must have I either cut a lot or really not much because I didn't notice when I was taking the arc through the corner that I'd even gone off, but probably one of those things where I was absolutely nowhere near the curb when I look back at the footage, but I thought I was actually taking the corner legit. I had to give it a go. I tried to give it absolutely everything. I knew I had to do the line perfectly through the chicane, and to be honest, I think if I hadn't got the penalty, because it kind of put me off, I probably wouldn't have failed to beat him to the line, because I almost hit him, so I had to sort of lift a little bit when I didn't really want to, so very, very close race at the end there. It only took us 10 minutes as well to do 7 laps of this track, so that's quite quite interesting there. But I hope you guys did enjoy that one. Obviously, the little preview at the start and then the race at the end. I actually really enjoyed the race because I thought we were terrible until the last couple of laps. We just found some pace that I really didn't know I had, because I did a 30.7 as the fastest lap, so I must have done that on the final lap of the race. But that's enough rambling. Like I said, I hope you did enjoy this one. Hope you enjoy the rest of your day. Hope you all stayed safe, and I shall see you in the next one.